This is WagerTalk Today. I am your host, Andy Lang. It is Friday. We got a huge weekend ahead of us. MLB, WNBA, NFL preseason kicked off last night. And, of course, we're going to talk UFC with Andrew Babakitis from the Westgate. Gianni's going to get us started with the Steam Report. Teddy Covers is going to join us. We're going to talk a little NFL preseason, some tips, how to bet, and what to look for. And then he's going to break down the Rangers and Mariners. Ronald Cabang is going to join us to talk a little WNBA. And, of course, Andrew Babakitis from the Westgate will join us to talk UFC. And at the end, Dan and I will break down the Titans' 5.5 season win total. Let us know what you think about the vaunted Tennessee Titans. Some great quotes from Cam Ward. He's becoming my favorite quotable NFL player at this particular moment. He's got some gems. Let's get started. Let's bring in Gianni. While you guys are watching, please hit that like button. Good morning, Gianni. Oh, by the way, how's the staycation going?
Good. Actually leaving right after I do this today. We're out of here. I got everything
nice,
ready to go. Just doing this segment and then heading back home, back to real life, back to, the grind.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get into it. Steam Report. Man, look at all these totals in WNBA. My gosh. I mean, I'm seeing like some 8-point moves on totals. Walk us through what is going on here.
Yeah, that's why I don't even share those. I don't even discuss it because, I mean, the numbers are gone. Like, I mean, obviously anybody could click the on screen and see a number was 164.5, 65, went to 68, 69, 71, 72. The money's all on the over. You don't need me to tell you that. The only question is, will Middleby work, from the people that got down early? And if you like the under, you're probably getting a better number. But that shows you those smaller markets, that you can make those numbers move significantly. And then if a player's out, it even gets even bigger than that. So you got to be really cautious if you're betting late. You know what I mean? A lot of the moves are strictly information-based. Players not playing, players injured. And you see those huge moves. And WNBA actually released a 4% play to subscribers early today. I saw a little confirmation there. It wasn't one of those lines that got away from us. Still actually available in some places. But a couple that did get hit that didn't move too significantly in WNBA. Phoenix on the road at Atlanta. They got bet at -2, got bet at 2.5, got bet at -3 as well. That's why you're looking as high as 4 across the board on Phoenix now. And also the under in the Golden State and Chicago. That's starting to creep down from 157 down to under 156 they hit as well. That's why you're looking at about 154 right now. Those didn't swing 5, 6, 7 points. Those legit moves for sure. Phoenix and the under in Golden State, Chicago. Those other big, line moves in the totals, like I said, if you don't get out ahead of them, the only thing you'll possibly do is go opposite and, think that was the opener really that off? You know what I mean? Were they going to let the market pound them 6, 7, 8 points later? So, a lot of times I tend to lean with the bookmakers in those situations.
Yeah. You're gonna be a good spot if you're always on the side of the bookmaker. We had an insanely low total yesterday in WNBA, and it still came in on the under. And the under in Chicago. That Angel Reese is out, Atkins is still out, and then they got 3 more game time decisions. So you got a ton of injuries in that one. What are we looking at baseball?
All right, early game Cincinnati. You got the public and the sharps on Cincinnati. That's why they pushed that from a low of 120.25 all the way up to 135, 140 in some of the square shops. Cincinnati also got bet right before first pitch yesterday to win that series, and they lost game 1. So you have the Sharps coming right back with them in game 2, hoping that they can even this one out. I think it's a 4-game series with Atlanta, and they laid -115 on the home Cincinnati Reds in that series. Also taking them today, like I said, 956 over 7.5 up to -130 on San Francisco and the Mets. 958 Colorado +125 NB over 11.5. 960 San Diego got slammed from 160, 165. San Diego sharp, multiple groups on San Diego. We got who else? 970 Seattle -170 and 175. A couple totals: 971 under 7.5 Baltimore Cubs, 974 under 8 Detroit Philadelphia, all the way to -120, and then LA Dodgers and Tampa Bay under 9 at -110. So a couple sides, couple totals, a little early today. But like I said, that early game is really one-sided with the public and the Sharps on the same home team, Cincinnati Reds over Atlanta.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, any surprises in there? I guess, boy, Colorado taking money. I mean, the pitch for Colorado has been awful. Senzatella, the guy's 4-14 with a 6.68 ERA.
Yeah,
that's a curious play.
Yeah, home dog there with Colorado. Yeah, not the most trustworthy team, even at home. I mean, you know, what's there to get excited about with Colorado? I mean, this is a game that's how many games under 500 now? Like 40 something, 50 something, 52 games.
That's a lot.
Below 500. Yeah, it's tough to find reasons to bet a team like Colorado. With that said, what are they, 4-6 over their last 10? And if you're getting plus 150 per game, you know what I mean? It's hard, again, to argue why they're betting them. You know, if they're able to win 4 out of 10 games, 3 out of 10 games even, and you're getting 2-1 every time. That's
just hard to click. It's hard to click on that button 10 times
really
on the Colorado Rockies. It's really, really hard. Really hard to do.
Look against Cleveland. Look against Cleveland. They won 1 out of 3 games, and you made money. They were like, the game that they won, they were like plus 240. So it's that, you know, Cleveland wins 2 out of 3 games, and if you bet them, you actually lost money betting Cleveland every single game. And you actually made money betting them. And they did that almost right before that with Baltimore. If they could win 1 out of the 3 games in a series, you're probably going to break even or lose a little bit at the worst. You know what I mean? Or you're going to make a little bit. But that's what, if you're betting Colorado, you got to look at the series. And I think that's how you got to approach it. Can they win 1 game? If they could win 1 game, got nothing to lose there. Straight betting them. That's why I think the argument is the lines now, this time of year, there's not all that much. All the attention is going to start being in football. And keep in mind, people parlay these baseball with football once football gets here. And what are they going to be doing? Parlaying the big money lines. And that's why I'm telling you, August dogs are good in baseball. But you're going to be forced to bet the worst teams. Like if you're not comfortable throwing out 2 out of 3 tickets and still being profitable, you're probably not going to have fun betting baseball in August. Because if you're betting the favorites, I'm telling you, you're going to get buried. Those must-win teams to make the playoffs, they make them so expensive that it's almost impossible to profit with them, even if they win 7 out of 10 games. Like those must-win teams are the worst come August and September in baseball. You're better off with, like we talked about before, with those bad teams that are at least bringing youth up with a reason to play.
We had a question from Johnny One Time here. He says, Johnny One Time, can you explain the advantages and disadvantages of betting round totals or over-under rounds in MMA versus just a straight money line bet? I don't think there's much difference. It just depends on what your read is. I mean, if you got 2 guys that you think are going to cause a car crash, you're not sure who's going to win, take the under. If you got a good edge on breaking down a fighter or a good line, then you're taking the money. I don't think there's an advantage or disadvantage one way or the other. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Again, it's just another betting option, at least like with football. You know, some people bet the side, some people bet the total. Last night, you bet the over, you made money, you know. You don't care who wins. You just want to see points, either or both teams to score or one team to just light it up like San Diego did. So yeah, it's just a different option. And I think it all depends on the handicapper. You know, a lot of MMA fans don't bet other sports. Also, I've noticed that some of them are just diehard MMA fans and they're like gamers that don't watch other sports, but they do bet MMA for whatever reason. And they usually do stick to sides or some of those props and stuff like that. But I think there's always a ton of value in those totals. I really do. Sure. I bet a lot of totals, a lot of props as well. You know, it's hard to bet. It's hard to beat sides long term. It really is.
Eric was wanting to know, Andy, any steam on the Red Sox?
They're getting money. I saw that. They're getting love.
Okay.
Public and Sharp there. Yeah, that was one of those teams that actually stuck out a little bit. I did see Sharp money. The reason I didn't use them here is because I saw a lot of public money on Boston today already. So some of that line move maybe public money related as well. The overnight might have got hit by Sharp on Boston, but since then it's been all public on Boston at, plus money at home. And I think that's going to continue. So if you like Boston, I wouldn't wait. I'd take it now because I'm seeing like 8 out of every 10 bets are coming in on the dog in that matchup.
Lastly, before we let you go, I mean, anything to do in UFC? I got hardly nothing. I haven't seen any huge line. It's just a block card. Sometimes there's not much you can do with it.
It is. I fired one bet so far. I'm leaving now. I'm going to work on the card all through tonight. And tomorrow I still got to watch all the weigh-ins and everything. So there's still plenty of time. And I get a lot of, the originators I work with, some of them wait till Saturday to bet. So we'll get some more plays between now and then. Hopefully last call tomorrow, I could share some MMA. But right now, like I said, I haven't fired. I gave out 4% to subscribers, and that was it.
Yeah, I have one UFC play, one PFL play, and that's going to be it for MMA. It's just two really, really bad cards. So,
yeah.
All right, what do you have up for clients up at WagerTalk?
Yeah, I'll have the baseball up today because baseball start coming in within the next 45 minutes. Like I said, guys up north, they wait till about 10 a.m. So I'll definitely have the baseball out. NFL college football season package is still up with futures. A couple more will go in between now and week 1. But there's a 5% already season win totals, 9 of those college and NFL. It's one package. The MMA package is up with the UFC. More plays will be in there as well. And of course, baseball steam rooms tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm excited about that. We'll cover all the preseason football, get you prepared on how we're going to approach it, talk some college football as well. And of course, we'll have MLB, UFC, and all that smaller market stuff hopefully coming in for some live bets. So make sure you join us for tomorrow's steam room. Thank you, brother. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Gianni. Have a good one. Can't wait to see you again on Monday. Duffel, Andy, how did our cricket play do? Cricket play lost last night, sadly. They couldn't get anything going on offense. Their bowling and defense was pretty good, but once they got up to bat, the bats were just cold. They really couldn't get much going. We had a couple wickets there in the middle, and they were stuck in the mud. So sadly, we dropped that one. So our next play won't be till next week, I'm guessing. So, but we do have the Caribbean series, I believe, starts up pretty soon. So excited about that. All right, let's bring in Teddy Covers. Let's talk some NFL preseason. Let's talk some Rangers and Mariners. Teddy, Hall of Fame game. Did you watch it?
I had a 5% big ticket on it. It was a game I was very, very interested in, start to finish. And I mean, I can't say it was a right side, but it broke very, very right. With the turnovers and where the turnovers occurred and leaving short fields, and it really wasn't much of a sweat with the over. We cashed it by the end of the third quarter.
Nice. Well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's talk a little NFL preseason. Let's talk some of your tips and everything, and then we can get to MLB. It's a football season. We got to talk preseason here. So, all right. So, give us some tips that you've learned over the course of your career, things that you're looking at when you're breaking down some of these games.
So, I was struggling to come up with I was struggling to reduce my list to the top 3 preseason betting tips because I can go on and on about preseason betting tips. But let's talk my top 3 NFL preseason betting tips. And this one is probably the single most important. Bet facts, not opinions. We all have opinions about these teams. Your opinions will matter at some point in the regular season. In the preseason, doesn't care if it's the best team in the league, the worst team in the league. Irrelevant. Information is key. Player rotations are key. Coaching quotes are key. How good the teams are going to be a month or 2 months or 3 months from now, basically a non-factor. So bet facts, not opinions. Number 2, you're looking for a bet against factor. My number 1 bet against factor in the preseason is cluster injuries. And that's cluster injuries at any position. Offensive line, defensive line, cornerback, wide receiver. Doesn't matter. Be aware when a team is facing significant injury concerns at one position, because coaches will do anything, including changing their game plan completely, to avoid more injuries at those positions. And that definitely affects the way they're going to play. So teams that are injured at any one given position, multiple guys, many, many guys, those are bet against teams in August. And it's also worth noting, one bet on thing, teams working on their blitz packages are bet on. when you get that defensive coordinator quote that says, well, we're going to test out some blitz packages this week. That's bet on. It's not an underquote because teams will turn the ball over when they're facing blitzes in August. Backup offensive lines can't stop the blitz at this time of the year. The third preseason betting tip that I would say that's the most important is you're going to hear so much about quarterback battles. The most important quarterback battles are not starting QB battles. They're not even backup QB battles. When the point spreads get decided, they get decided after halftime. Who's going to be in after halftime? The third stringers, the fourth stringers. I love a good battle for the third string QB position. I love a team that maybe they're going to keep 2, maybe they're going to keep 3, and those third string QBs are giving everything they got with every opportunity. Those quarterback battles for the backups and the third strings, far more important for August betting success than quarterback battles for starting positions. And again, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to key factors for preseason. It's a completely different style and type of handicap than anything you're going to do from week 1 through the Super Bowl.
So what of these facts, opinions, cluster injuries, backup, what made you pick the over in last night's game?
So it wasn't anything to do with cluster injuries. All right. It wasn't, but it was a situation where when you're digging, and of course, preseason is about betting facts, not opinions. So what do? You're digging. Harbaugh wants to run the football. Well, no, he doesn't. Not in this game. In this game, he wants to give Trey Lance an opportunity to show what he can do. All right. We look at the offensive line. All right. Oh, there's issues with the offensive line for the Chargers. Oh, well, look, here's this quote that says how good their depth has been so far here in August. And the backup linemen are going to be just fine. And that was very much the case for the Chargers. For the Lions piece of the equation, we had 2 quarterbacks who were getting rave reviews. And I know neither one of them played that well last night. Hooker didn't get much of a chance last night. But backup QB battle in Detroit, question how many quarterbacks are going to keep on the roster, what I was just talking about, 2 versus 3, and who's going to get that number 2 spot. And the reports at a camp where like both these QBs come in with familiarity with the offense, and they're lighting it up right now. So even though the Lions tend up turning the ball over 5 times and didn't score a whole lot of points, going into the game, the quotes were very clear from Detroit's locker room. These are QBs you want to be betting on, not QBs you want to be betting against. So you put those 2 factors together with the low total, with that, I mean, I got 32.5, which, and one more factor, which made me excited about it. Again, it was I don't put out a lot of big tickets. I really don't. I'm number 1 all time at WagerTalk in NFL 5% big tickets because I don't put out a ton of big tickets and because I really isolate the games that I'm looking for and the situations that I'm looking for. If I don't see it, I never force it. But one of the most important factors in that game was the fact that the Hall of Fame game was an auto under bet. For 20 years, you just a Hall of Fame game, just bet it under, bet it under, bet it under. And that hasn't been the case in recent years, and the markets haven't necessarily caught up with that yet. So, we've seen now the last 4 Hall of Fame games go over the total. And again, we're not talking about crazy, we're not seeing scores in the 50s and 60s, but we're seeing scores in the upper 30s and low 40s, which cashes over 32.5, over 33 tickets to what the Hall of Fame game tends to be priced at.
Love it. Let's move to MLB real quick. Let's get your thoughts on Rangers and Mariners, and then I got to bring up some of these stats, your NFL Week 1 and things like that. But let's get your thoughts on Rangers and Mariners. You got Leiter going for Texas. You got Gilbert going for Mariners. Mariners, big win yesterday, 6-0. How do you break down the game today?
Big game breakdown. Let's talk about Seattle and Texas. And right now, looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen, I'm seeing Seattle minus 180, minus 185, minus 190s out there. Total in this game sitting at 7.5. And by the way, that Odds Logic live odds screen, I talk about it because it's a really good product. Try it free 7 days. Just go oddslogic.com/Teddy. You get a free 7-day trial for this live odds product. And in August for preseason, yeah, it's not a bad thing to have in your repertoire. But we've seen a fair bit of Seattle money already. Opened as low as minus 170 last night. And like I said, we're seeing minus 185, minus 190 right now. I don't love this spot for Seattle at all. All right. Huge game for them yesterday, obviously. And then, you just picked up Suarez from Arizona. In fact, the plane sat on the tarmac for an hour, wait for him to get there. so that he could fly home with the team to Seattle for last night's game. Of course, they get the 6-0 victory against the Rangers, shut them out. And now we have Seattle with the 1-game lead in this very tight, for second place in the AL West, but certainly for wild card standings and all of that. This is a huge series for both of these two teams. That being said, so you have the huge, you have this big trade. Oh, we're buyers. And you have the big win, and you stay up late the one night waiting for your guy. And now it's Friday. Now it's the next day. And plus, you got Gilbert on the hill. And Gilbert's an ace, but his last start wasn't great. He lost against the Angels. In fact, since coming off the IL in mid-June, Gilbert has one quality start in 8 tries. All right. He's not pitching at an elite level right now. We look at Texas. And again, this team went 16-8 in July, as hot as any team in baseball. All right. They're off a loss, 10-4 off a loss since mid-June. Nary a 3-game skid during that entire span. All right. Jack Leiter. Again, he doesn't have the name that Logan Gilbert does, but guess what? He's won his last 3 starts, dominated Atlanta last time out. Atlanta scored 12 runs last night. We know that lineup can hit. Leiter shut him down last time out. Shut down the A's before that. The A's can hit. And he shut down Seattle in his last start against the Mariners in June. 6 innings of 1-run ball. So I think the spot is right. The Rangers sure look like live dogs to this better. It's Texas at the plus price or pass for me tonight. And boy, I really appreciate those likes, those comments, and the follows if you haven't done so already. 210,000 plus now following WagerTalk TV on YouTube.
I mentioned you've done very well in NFL Week 1, and I don't think that's a coincidence. I love playing props in Week 1 because I think the lines are kind of vanilla, and I don't think the books have very strong opinions. And if you can come out of the gate, with strong opinions and strong takes and good reads, I think you're going to get soft lines for the first week or so. Is that how you see NFL Week 1? I mean, what are you hitting? Like 73% of your Week 1 plays in NFL. It's not an accident.
Sure. I mean, look, I do a lot of NFL work over the summer. I pay a lot of attention to the NFL in August. You put those two factors together with the experience. Again, I've been doing this since 1998, full time. Every day, every year. And you learn, over the course of time, you do learn things. You pick up stuff. Hey, I'm going to pay more attention to this. You see trends change. But I'm 30-11 in NFL Week 1. We've got a best bet up right now, $5, just to see what I'm talking about. But the majority of the card won't come, obviously, until much closer to kickoff. But this is one that it's just stood out to me. I'm like, this line can't hold. And it's already moving, from where I got it at. So the only reason to bet now for Week 1 is if you see something around key numbers where the line's going to move. We expect the line to move. But I expect to win it. I expect to win every week. But Week 1 in particular, when you do your homework, September NFL has been really good for me over the years. And Week 1, obviously 30-11 over a decade. It's a pretty good track record.
I expect to win every week too. Let's do it. 17 or let's get 18 profitable weeks this season. Teddy, let's do it. You and me. Let's go, brother. You've got that NFL Week 1 play up. What else do you have up for clients at WagerTalk?
We have the NFL season win report. If you haven't gotten it, some years the numbers get pounded. This hasn't been that year. All right. You can get pretty much every line released in that report within 10 cents of where it was right now. You're not going to get the very best of it, but you're not going to be far off. And I don't know that's going to be that way a week or two from now. I really don't. Once the preseason starts, these lines start to jump around. So if you're interested, get on board with the season win package. That's another one that's got an incredible record, long-term, 66% since 2001. So, we've made a lot of money with that. And of course, we've got baseball up for today. We've got NFL, as you mentioned, the $1 $5 play available, and we will post more preseason. We have numbers just came up for Week 1 that I'm excited to dive into today. And we'll see if we can find anything early. A lot of times preseason stuff, you can't bet it until you can't bet any opinions. It's not about betting opinions. It's about betting info. So when the info comes, you have to be ready to fire. So we'll dig around today, see what we can find.
Love it. Teddy Covers, best in the business. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great weekend and continued success in the NFL preseason. Thank you, Teddy Covers, everyone.
Cheers.
Yeah, he mentioned hit the like button, guys. It's really, really important to the algorithm that helps us out. And Justin, yeah, we talked about 210,000. Justin's, I was 40,000 member. It's amazing. It really is amazing. Some of the numbers and the milestones that we've gone through. So appreciate you guys. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that now. It's football season, so you're going to have tons of breakdown videos in college and NFL. So make sure you subscribe, hit the bell. You get alerts when all the videos go up. We just dropped one of the best deals of the year, 13 weeks of action for the price of just 2 months. Got to celebrate Hall of Fame game getting kicked off. So it's $598, instant discount down to that price for August, September, and October. You get 3 months of NFL, college football, MLB, UFC. If you're like me, you're doing golf, you're doing Formula One, you're doing NASCAR. Any sport that we have is going to be available. You're going to get everything from your favorite handicapper through October 31st. It's only $6.50 a day. It does not get better than that. The earlier you jump in, the more you get. So again, if you know you're going to invest in a chunk of football season from a handicapper, make sure you get in as many plays as possible. Lock the special now. Ride with us through Halloween. Yes, it's August 1st, and we're doing a Halloween special. That's how we roll here at WagerTalk. So 13 weeks for the price of just 2 months. Let's bring in Ronald Cabang, WNBA extraordinaire. Ronald, we had some crazy lines that we talked about earlier. Like you don't really see 8, 9, 10-point moves in many sports, but you can certainly see it in WNBA. I do want to talk some Sparks and Storm, and then we'll talk a little bit more about a couple of other NBA teams. So the Sparks had their 5-game winning streak broken. The Storm have alternated wins and losses the last 9 games. They cannot get going on a streak. It's just win one, lose one. How do you break this game down tonight, Sparks and the Storm?
Yeah, this one's pretty interesting. I think you mentioned the Sparks were on a 5-game winning streak prior to losing to the Aces on Tuesday. It was sort of a flat spot for them. They played their first game home after 3 straight road games, and they also flew through multiple time zones. They were coming from New York and then playing in LA. And with that said, the Storm are pretty much in the exact same position for this game. They just finished a 3-game East Coast road trip. They're coming from Connecticut, I believe. This is their first game home, flew through multiple time zones. So to me, I mean, we talked about this in the NBA too. This is really a sort of a flat spot, and I'm expecting that from the Storm today. And if you look at them from just a trend perspective, 3-7 ATS as home favorites, they're averaging just 79.7 per game. The last 4 instances, last 3 instances, they stayed under 70 points. And if you look at recent form as well, the last 5 games post All-Star break, Storm dead last in offensive rating, playing with the 4th slowest pace in the league, averaging just 71.6 per game. Their team total, I believe, is 86.5. So that's a big jump. And obviously the Sparks defense isn't that great, but they did bring back Cameron Brink. This will be her 2nd game back. She did play 13 minutes. She had a block and a steal, a few rebounds. She played pretty well during her time on the court against the Aces. For me, I'm assuming they're going to slowly ramp up her minutes, but as she continues to play more, she's going to be an impact player on the boards and on defense. For me, I think a lot of things were pointing towards the Storm kind of struggling offensively or continuing to struggle offensively. So I would look towards Sparks plus the points or the team total under 86.5. The only reason why this didn't make my card, I just want to hear more about Cameron Brink's game status, if she's going to be on a minutes restriction or anything like that. But depending on that, I might actually end up adding it to my card tonight.
One of the revelations this year to me is that Angel Reese, it turns out, is really, really good for the offense, which I don't think many people would say. And yeah, she's out again. They got their team total at 74.5. I'm going under on the Chicago Sky. Look at all those injuries that they're dealing with. I don't know. What's your thoughts on Angel Reese in the Sky? Because I mean, her offense and shooting was kind of, a laughing point, and now the numbers don't lie. When she's not in there, they cannot score. What's your take on this situation?
Yeah, her game has really evolved as far as being able to help facilitate the offense too. So not only second chance opportunities, whether she's making the layups or not, she's getting the team second chance opportunities. she's being able to, like I said, facilitate the offense. She was playing more of a point forward role a little bit towards the last 5-6 games before she got hurt. And then you have Ariel Atkins too. People forget she's on the USA team. She's not some chump or whatever. So missing her is also, losing out on a lot of offense and leadership on that court. So that's a lot of offense. And you've seen, I think, 3 of the 4 games where both of them were out. They failed to score like 65 points or something like that. They did kind of go off in the last one. They played, I don't know who they played exactly, but if I remember correct, Washington was actually in a bad spot in that situation. So I think both teams went way over their team total in that game. So I don't know. To me, I think she's just a big part of the offense in general, from the beginning of the season till now. And missing her offense, missing her second chance opportunity and hustle is definitely showing.
You mentioned to me right before we got going, you got season tickets to the Seahawks, huh?
Yeah, got season tickets to the Seahawks. Yeah, I'm gonna miss the first week though, just because I'll be in the Philippines. But I'm excited for it. I think that our defense is gonna be a lot better than what people expect. It's our offense that I feel like we're gonna have to see how that goes. But I have high hopes for the Seahawks.
See how it goes. Not exactly a big vote of confidence there, Ron.
Yeah, I like our defense, not our offense. That's as easy as it goes.
All right, what do you have up for everyone at WagerTalk?
Yeah, WNBA has been really good. Been focusing on that primarily during the summer. The other thing is the 4% plays. I have a 4% play today. I had it up. It's like 31-6 right now on WNBA plays rated 4% or greater over the last 2 seasons. So when I play those, they hit pretty well. I have that up, and I actually have a chance to hit the century mark in profit for today. So if I have a profitable day, I might be able to get up over 100 units in the WNBA alone. And we just passed the halfway mark. So, hopefully if you guys want to rock with me there, just head over to wt.buzz/RC.
All right. Thanks, Ronald. Hope you have a safe trip. Love those Seahawks tickets. Have a lot of fun and continued success. All right. We had a topic of conversation yesterday. The chat was bringing up dipping pizza rolls into ketchup. So we asked for you guys to give us some of your weirdest food combos, and you all did not disappoint. So Mark says he got drunk a few weeks ago and destroyed a big bag of Takis with a tray of cinnamon rolls, washed it down with cranberry juice and tequila. That's your winner. Mark, that is next level. Spaghetti with honey. Frank says it's actually quite good. I don't know about that. Favorite is he puts seafood seasoning on everything, Dan. Just seafood seasoning on everything. Apparently, but seafood. And then Brian, fry your pizza rolls in bacon grease. Stole that from King of Queens. Next level, wrap each frozen pizza roll in half a strip of bacon, then fry. Okay. Now you got me. That sounds better than the spaghetti with honey. So great job in the comment section about some of these food things. You guys y'all are nasty. Y'all need Jesus if you're eating some of that stuff. Oh man. All right, let's bring in Andrew Babakitis. We got to talk this UFC card. Andrew, any of those sound appetizing to you? No, you're going to pass?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about any of those combinations.
Well, a great segue. Speaking of combinations, we're going to see a lot of 1-2 combinations on Saturday. That was lame. But no, let's talk this UFC card. I don't know. What's the handle like? Does it just every UFC bettor is going to bet the card no matter what? Or because this seems like one of the worst cards of the year since we lost the main event and just not a lot of big names on here. It's kind of a lull. So what's your take and handle on this event?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the handle is a little down for this card compared to some of the. I mean, definitely the last 2 were pretty good handle cards, even though last week's was in the morning. But we ended up getting next week's card up, which is not a great card either. But 319, we got those lines up as well. So we have early action or early lines for all those fights, trying to give them some shelf life. So we're trying to get as much UFC out there for the customers. I know we got 3 back-to-back cards. So, yeah, just trying to keep as many fights available as possible. But, yeah, you're definitely right. This week is a little low in handle to this point for sure.
Any sharp action on any of these fights? I'm looking at some of the lines. I'm not seeing a ton of movement on a lot of things, but taking any really sharp action on anything?
Yeah, I could just comment on some of the larger spots that actions come in on. We did, right when we put up the Austin Bashy lineup, we did get hit pretty heavily. It looks like we didn't open up that price long enough. We opened at -$6. We got hit right away pretty heavily at -600. There's been some resistance on the main event. Park is actually getting some handle. There's been some bites on the dog in that fight. I know that's a short notice fight. The Albazi fight got canceled, but it's nice to see some dog plays early there. Yeah, man, the action is pretty low. Chris Duncan, there's been a couple dog shots on Chris Duncan and Tresean Gore, but nothing too heavy. Some good action on totals, but those are probably the most notable fights so far.
Yeah, I like the Tresean Gore look as well. Rodolfo Vieira puts absolutely no faith in me whatsoever. This is a guy that said he doesn't like fighting, which is tough because you're a fighter. Like if I said that, okay, and he doesn't like fighting. I guess that's why he's on camera for a living. I always do a violence parlay for you. I got nothing. I can't find 2 fights that I absolutely love, so I'm going to do a peaceful parlay for you. And I actually like that Rodolfo Vieira fight over 1.5. That's -145. And then I'm going to put that with the Ribovic and Brenner to go over 1.5. Ribovic is all about the volume. He's not necessarily about the power. He's not a big-time finisher. Brenner's tough. He'll eat a bunch of punches. There's a chance Brenner gets involved in the wrestling. And then Vieira and Gore, both these guys are good on the ground. That's all Vieira's game. I don't see a knockout. Neither of these guys are big punchers. I like both of them to go over 1.5. What's your take?
Yeah, that's the Ribovic-Brenner fight is one that we got hit on early on the over. So that line's kind of moved for us over at the SuperBook. We opened it at 115 at 2.5. Right away, we got hit pretty heavily on the over. Not too much action on the Gore total. I know that one's sitting at a 1.5 line over -140, but not too much handle on that one.
All right. What's your favorite play on this card?
Yeah, I mean, I'm also with you. I think I like Gore as well, just based off of the price and not being able to trust Vieira. But I'll give a different play since you kind of already said that one. I kind of like Ketlin Souza in that fight. I think that fight might play out a little bit closer than what the line is showing right now. You can almost get 2-1 on Souza. I know she had a disappointing last outing, but maybe a good get right spot and a fight that will probably play out a little bit closer than what the line is indicating.
I agree. We went over that one yesterday, and her opponent's a cheater. Her opponent headbutts other people. And it's a sport where the winner is the most violent person, and she got DQ'd for being too violent. So we'll just leave it at that. All right, Andrew, what do you guys have going on over at Westgate these days?
Yeah, we're all hands on deck getting ready for the NFL season again. So we're trying to get as much content out for the NFL. If you guys are looking for a book to add in your Vegas repertoire, this is definitely a book that I'd say is pretty competitive, especially with the pricing. We got very, very fair splits on major markets. NFL spreads, we're going to have the most fair splits that you're going to be able to find. And like I said, with the UFC content, I'm trying to get as much out there for you guys as possible. Either sharing information on X or getting cards out early. future fights out early. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to hit me up on X. And yeah, I'd love to get those early fights out. But as always, thanks for having me on. We'll have more information on these upcoming cards with a little bit better fights and a little bit better handle. But yeah, love talking to you.
Actually, we got a quick question for you in the comments section, if you don't mind. Question for Andrew in the WNBA. Why do we have such big swings in WNBA over-unders? I mean, we've seen some lines that swung 7-8 points. How off can they be? What's the explanation for those huge swings?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say there's a lot that goes into it. I know, obviously, the injury stuff, people are just keeping up with those all the time. And those have a big those swing the markets pretty big. But, I mean, the sharp action that comes in on WNBA, the markets are a lot softer. So the lines are obviously going to move a lot more until, maybe the market gets a little bit more solid and there's a lot more sharp handle. But yeah, limits are lower. Lines are softer. So if some sharp guy comes in and bets a big number on a total, we're going to move it much more aggressively, trying to, win on his side and write some money on the other side.
Love it. Love it. Andrew Babakitis over at Westgate. Buckle up, Andrew. You're not going to get much sleep here shortly. So thanks for joining us, man. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
All right, let's do all around the world, and then we're going to break down the Titans over under 5.5 games. If you're interested, guys, we have 2 MMA plays. It's in one pack, PFL and UFC. Only 2 plays for the entire weekend, but they're plays we really, really like. So PFL play goes off tonight. UFC play goes off tomorrow. So if you're interested in PFL and UFC profits, go grab that, wt.buzz/AL. All right. All around the world, we got a few baseball games, and then we got a prop in WNBA. We'll go to the Pirates at the Rockies. We mentioned this one earlier. Drew Martin likes the over 11.5. 2 bad pitchers. Senzatella, 6.68 ERA. Haney, 4.7 ERA. And an 8.79 ERA the last 6 starts. Also perfect weather. Hot, and there's 10 mile an hour blowing out. So good situation there. We're going to the Fever at the Wings. We're going to Leah Boston over 8.5 rebounds. The last 4 games without Caitlin Clark in the lineup, she's allowed 12, 10, 11, and 12. Sorry, she's had 12, 10, 11, and 12 rebounds. Last 5 games, Dallas 9th worst allowing opponent rebounds. So Leah Boston over the rebounds. Then Dodgers and Rays looking at another over here. Hot weather, wind blowing out again. Kershaw's not made it out of the 4th inning the last 2 starts. And the opposing pitcher gave up 8 runs in 4 innings the last start. So we got 3 overs there for you. All right, speaking of over, let's see if Dan and I liked over on the Tennessee Titans at 5.5, Dan. Let's see. 3-14.
Next, end the segment.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys.
Thanks. Have a good weekend. No, I'm just...
All right. They're 3-14 last year. Last year, they're 25th in defense, 18th in offense. They did sign their left tackle. That was their big signing. So they do have help to protect Cam Ward. They signed a safety, a guard, D lineman, D tackle, kind of those things. I'm loving Cam Ward's comments in some of these situations. So they asked Cam Ward to comment on Will Levis being out for the season, and instead of saying like, "Oh, he'll come back stronger than ever, we're pulling for him, great teammate," he just said, "I didn't have a reaction. I'm focused on Cam Ward," which is just. I mean, it's honest, but I'm guessing the marketing department didn't write that for him. Then they asked him to comment on the Titans offense, and he says, "I just think we're very mid." This is great.
Maybe he's like trying to sell low. You know what I mean?
I'm all in on the Cam Ward experience here. All right, PFF rankings: 20th for running backs, 30th for wide receivers. Yikes. 24th offensive line, 14th defensive line, 32nd in linebackers, 21st in secondary. There is not a lot to like about this Titans team on paper. at Broncos, Rams, Colts, at Texans, at Cardinals, at Raiders, Patriots, at Colts, Chargers, then the bye week, Texans, Seahawks, Jags, at Browns, there you go, at 49ers, Chiefs, Saints, there you go, at Jags. I'm guessing you're going under on this Titans team.
Yeah, I mean, so top 10 easy schedule. You kind of laid it out right there. So let's start with the positives for this Tennessee Titans team. Super young, right? This is also a team who the best years are ahead of the Tennessee Titans. Excitement. You get the first, overall pick who somehow whenever he's dropping quotes, you could just replace his name with Boobie Miles from Friday Night Lights. Like it feels like if you asked him, hey, how'd you do in school? He would say, I got straight A's. And they would say, in what classes? He would say football. That's the only class. I'm an athlete. like Boobie Miles would, right? The thing for me is though, man, I don't see where maybe the consistency comes in for this team. Yes, they have an easy schedule, but it's never like there's this stretch that goes, oh, this is where they build their confidence. There's always these little tough matchups for them sprinkled in there. 5.5 is low, but Andy, people talk about, the Jets, the Jags. They talk about all these teams being the worst team in the NFL. For me, I think the worst team with the lowest win total is going to come in as this Tennessee Titans team. Sure, they play some of those teams like the Saints, but I think it's going to be Titans versus Saints for the race to the bottom, for the race to the first overall pick. If you're the Tennessee Titans, this year you don't have aspirations, right? This year is a wait and see year. What's a better thing to do in a wait and see year than, be competitive in games? Could they cover some spreads? Sure. They should have won a lot of games if Will Levis wasn't coughing the ball all over the turf last year. Wasn't fumbling in every single game, wasn't a turnover machine. They would have won a lot of games they should have lost. Their defense is exciting. But as far as playmakers, I just don't quite see it. 5.5 wins, again, it feels low. If it's 4.5, all right, maybe I have a little bit of pause, but I see this team coming in with around 3-4 wins. It's a pretty strong play towards the under for me on the Tennessee Titans. And based on the eyes, when I said that I think this could be the worst team, Andy, and maybe you're a little bit more bullish on this squad than I am. What's your thoughts outside of Cam Ward going to give us gold in the quote department all year long?
I think this version of the NFL in 2025, it lends itself to where we've seen rookie quarterbacks have success right off the bat. Now, obviously, the situation needs to be good, but I don't remember these rookie quarterbacks coming in and just immediately playing well and getting wins, but a lot of them are doing it. So I don't want to rule that out. And also, someone brought it up in the chat. This division, I think, could potentially really stink. So I think the Saints are going to be. I think it's the Saints and the Giants battling it out for the worst, for the worst team in the league. I would lean Saints. I can't go over.
I think
though,
the Saints have the better head coach between the two teams, though. I mean, not just because I'm an Eagles fan. Oh yeah, look what they're bringing in. Like Callahan doesn't do it for me personally. I don't see it. I think your mic went there, Andy. I think your mic is out, I believe. Good sir. I'm sure what you're saying is that gold.
Better?
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay. All right. Now I'm back.
How dare you cough in the middle of a segment, Andy?
Sorry. I'm going under with you as well. They got a lot of things to try and get better at. I mean, you can't point to one thing that they do good. Like not even but good.
And yes, their division is bad, Andy, but their division is also bad because they are in it. You know what I mean? Like you can't discount that this is also going to be one of the worst teams in their division, which arguably is one of the worst divisions in football outside of what with the Texans. So 4.5 should be the number. I think you're getting a full point of value here.
All right, and before we get out of here, Dan, as an Eagles fan, are you just? It's like, man, the Giants are going to stink. The Cowboys are just going to go full on Cowboys, and you're like, I got to worry about the Commanders, and now Terry McLaurin demands a trade. Are you just laughing as an Eagles fan?
I mean, why do these other teams buy? This is where I am just so thankful for the man the myth, the legend, Howie Roseman, because he is the guy who he extends the guys 2 years before they need to get extended. So these contract issues don't come up for the Philadelphia Eagles. And sure, you could say, well, it's because they're in the Super Bowl, it's because they're winning. Not taking care of Terry McLaurin. Yes, he's aging, but he does way more for you than just catching balls. He's the pregame speech guy. He's the pump up guy. He's one of those just glue guys that a huge part of what you did last year was because you had the leadership of Terry McLaurin having everyone toe the line behind the rookie. So, you just don't want that kind of turmoil when you're on the come up. This is a huge reason why I said that the Washington Commanders, it's not like the bottom's going to fall out, but they're going to come back from the pack. You cannot over exceed expectations the way that you did and not underperform the next year. So this is just another feather in the cap, making me feel good that my read on the Commanders coming into the year is strong. And we would be remiss to talk about drama in the NFC East if you didn't mention Micah Parsons and the Cowboys have never been further away. Like, there's like rumbles that Micah Parsons is going to say, I want to trade. I don't want to be on this team anymore. What are they doing screwing up with these players, Andy? It's not hard. I don't know. The salary cap is the salary cap. If you want to keep guys, you can keep guys. I don't know what the rest of the NFC East is thinking, but me like you, Andy. Me like you very much.
So it's the reason it's the same like couple teams at the end of the year. It's just the Chiefs, it's the Eagles, it's like, and then you have the Bengals who can't field a competent defense.
I'm starting to regret going head to head versus you on the Eagles season win total. Me going under and you going over. I'm starting to somewhat
that was
regret
the stunner. That was the stunner. So, all right, great work this week, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get out of here. Here's the updated chart. So we got the Titans. We only got a few more. We got the Steelers, we got the Bucks, and we got the Bears. We're saving the Bears last because we're going to bring on John Hoglund,
our video team meeting yesterday. Andy said Caleb Williams has a bigger ceiling than Jalen Hurts, so it should be a good time to have when we talk.
The guy that just won the Super Bowl.
that exactly. And Andy, quick before we sign off, I do just want to mention tomorrow we obviously have Wager Talk Last Call, that one going at 11, and then tomorrow afternoon you got Bet the Steam Room with Ace. He goes on, breaks down a board. It's a live chat like we have here, but he's answering your questions all show long. Typically, only clients of Ace of VR can join in on this. But if you join and become a Wager Talk Insider, $2.99 right here on YouTube. And you can join people like our man Caleb Cross, our newest member here. You're going to get exclusive emojis. You're going to get exclusive content. The first piece of exclusive content that we're doing, if you're a Wager Talk Insider, just $2.99, you have access to the Steam Room tomorrow. All you have to do is message customer support, let them know your YouTube name, we'll get you in there. $2.99, and you get a free $5 coupon to use at wagertalk.com. So you're literally getting paid to become an insider, and you're going to be in the Steam Room with Ace. No reason not to do it. WT.buzz/insiders. I think it's going to be a lot of fun heading into football season if you join up, become a Wager Talk Insider. We're going to have a lot of exclusive content for you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Now I don't have to read it. Now I don't have to read the inside.
I got you, right? I was like, you do such a good job all show long, Andy. I'll put on my promo cap for you.
Love it. All right, good luck on all your bets. Remember, PFL and UFC pack is up for myself and for clients. Let's have a great weekend. Let's get after it on Monday. Good luck on all your bets this weekend, and take care.